We're those girls who cook. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Natasha. And today we're going to be making our first recipe, which is a rice bowl.
So we're going to have some fresh vegetables, some ground turkey, brown rice, and then we've got some sauce that we're going to put on in the end. So
let's start cooking.
So first what we're going to be doing is measuring out our rice. We'll be using 2 cups of brown rice for the amount of rice that we'll need. And what we're going to do first is rinse it in fast motion because that makes everything better. It just helps to get the starch off and helps create a nice fluffy rice. Then to the rice we'll be adding 3 cups of water. This is slightly less than if you were to do white rice. If you're doing white rice, you'd add a little bit more water. Brown rice doesn't need quite as much. So we'll put that on the stove. We're going to start off on high heat, and when it starts to boil, we'll turn it down to medium or low, and we'll keep it covered the whole time.
So now we're going to start cutting up our vegetables for the dish. Sarah is first working on a topping that we're going to have, and she's starting with some mushrooms, and we'll be cutting up some onion also. I'm starting with zucchini, just cutting them into normal sizes, not too small because then it will become mushy, and we do not want that. So I'm starting off with this, and then also be chopping up some green pepper and some red pepper.
So next we're going to be putting some toppings on this plate here. I've cut along an avocado lengthwise just until the pit, and then I twist it open as you see here. Then I'm going to take my knife into the pit, turn it, take the pit out. Tasha's working on some green onions there, just cutting them up into thin slices. For the avocado, I just cut through, not all the way through the skin or the outside, just kind of along the inside to get some slices. And then what we're going to do is take that out. I use my fingers because I decide to struggle, but an easier way to do this is just grab a spoon and kind of spoon out all the avocado. Yeah, I'm pretty graceful, as you can see. And then this is what's going to go on top of our bowl towards the end.
So here is our final products. The vegetables here that I cut up, and I don't know why I rubbed them gracefully, but that is it. And here is the mushrooms and onion that we'll be cooking later. I don't like mushrooms, no, no, no.
So next we're going to be making the sauce that we're going to drizzle on top. We're going to be using Sriracha, some Mayo, and then this is spicy sesame oil. You can use regular sesame oil. I use about 3 tablespoons of mayo, 2.5, and I really like spicy, so that's about 1.5 tablespoons of sriracha. Just mix that together really well till it's all one nice consistency. And then what we're going to do is put in the sesame oil. You don't need very much, maybe like 1/4 teaspoon just to give it some flavor. Really ties it all together. And then I also put in a little bit of tamari, which is similar to soy sauce, just not as salty. And a little bit more sriracha because I love my spice. And then this just kind of makes it into a creamy sauce. It's not too thick, so it's nice to drizzle over top. And it looks just like that. So good. So next we're going to be doing the mushrooms and onions. I'm going to be putting a little bit of olive oil in the pan, and I'll keep the heat on about medium. I don't want to burn anything, especially the olive oil. So I'll just add the mushrooms and onions right into the pan, and I'm going to be adding some garlic powder, just a sprinkling, maybe about a teaspoon. I'm also going to be putting some cayenne pepper in, Probably also about a teaspoon, maybe half if you're not a fan of spice. Just give those a good mix. And they're going to simmer for probably about 3 or 4 minutes, depending on how quickly they heat up. Just keep an eye on them. You don't want them to burn, but you do want to get a nice browning on the mushrooms, and you want the onions to be pretty soft, not too crunchy. Next, what we're going to be doing is adding some balsamic vinegar. This is just to get the stuff that's on the bottom of the pan off, make a nice sauce. It also gives them a nice caramel sweet kind of flavor, so they're salty and sweet, which is nice. And this is what it should look like.
So here we have the garlic and onions, and I'm just putting some oil inside the pan to get that sauteing nicely. And we're just going to mix this all up. So it's all coated in the oil, and now it's starting to sizzle. So now we'll be getting our turkey and just mashing, well, not mashing, but just separating it all because we had it frozen. And we're just adding that inside the pan with the onion and garlic. And now we're going to start with our spices, so I'm just starting with some salt. And adding our pepper. Now for our thyme leaves, just a little bit of the thyme, not too much. So now we'll be taking the cayenne pepper. You can add little or less of this depending on your preference. Now for the the paprika, a little bit of that also. And basil, we just used the dried. And now for the oregano, also the dried. Just a sprinkle of everything, not too much, not too little. And now you just want to mix all those spices up and to start all the juices flowing and getting all those tasty spices in there. So now that the meat is mostly cooked, we'll be adding in our vegetables that we chopped up earlier. So here they are. And now we're just going to add that to the turkey that we had, and we're going to mix that all together so the vegetables now get sauteed in the pot with all the spices that we added in. So I'm just going to add a bit of water to add some more juice that we will be mixing in with the rice.
So time to start assembling our bowls. We'll be putting the brown rice in first as the base for our bowl. Just about a cup, a little bit more, whatever you like. It's really up to you. And then after we do that, we're going to be adding in that turkey and vegetable mixture. There's really no rules when it comes to assembling your bowl. If you want to make all turkey and vegetable and no rice, that's cool too. Or you can have more rice and just a little bit, whatever you like. And then we're going to be putting in some mushrooms. Guys, oh my god, Tash is putting mushrooms on her bowl. What? Can't believe it. Yeah, so that's the mushrooms that we had cooked earlier with the onions and balsamic.
So now we'll be adding in our fresh avocado and our green onions, and then going in with that Sriracha mayo that we made in the beginning, and we'll be just drizzling it on top to add some extra flavor. And again, with a little bit of soy sauce on top. You don't have to add it, but we like doing it. And I took forever to put it on mine for some reason. And here is our finished product, our yummy turkey bowls.
If you like this video and you'd like to see more, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks, guys!